Tracks like, let's get this one. Yeah, this is fine.
Exactly. Is it separated?
I'm miserable.
Please tell this
No, we're
stuff
good.
really wide.
We're good.
We'll probably get over.
Yeah,
We'll probably.
we're good.
I'm typically 34.
I'm looking at it. Shot. Red, red, red.
When you get to Facebook.
I mean, ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How many?
And it was like me.
There's one here and one here. Who's right?
This is from.
Well, Mark.
We thought you had
Mark,
full.
White part, the white part will go
And I'm
in.
sanding like elbow grease. It's been
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wait on that.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep talking about my paint, okay.
That's just back in the kitchen.
Hunter got excited and started painting the kitchen. I am now scraping all the paint that Hunter painted because we thought it was a latex base cabinets and they were oil based, so it's peeling off. So now I'm having to go back and undo it all. It's been in the works. And we don't have time for this. We're working 7 days a week at the store and we're at night. So I had a really bad time yesterday.
Give a thumbs up.
No, it's.
Yeah, I know.
I'll stick that over there, Bob.
I need
Jeremy.
any thumbs up. I'll wait.
Trying to start it right. I've been pretty easy to be here for the balance of the meeting. Now we just seem to be like, seeing one more.
Are you waiting for like a green light on that?
She'll be red.
Oh, red. For recording. Green for go.
That was on your,
Yeah.
your remote control. There's your red.
There's our red. All right, let's get this thing going. Got people to get going. So
Let's keep it PG-13.
That's right.
My middle name, right?
PG.
13.
You'll take roll call, please, and then we'll go on to motion to approve the minutes from last month.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, hold on. Oh. Okay,
We got a
first, Sheila.
motion from Ms. Sheila,
Second.
Randy, Mr. and excuse me, please note,
I'll be Mr.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. All right, funding reports.
Oh, the only thing,
Okay.
back to the minutes, it's still saying that if I made a motion to approve. Of course, I'm not a commissioner, so technically.
Was that me? I might have made the motion.
Oh, gotcha.
I think just ask.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Good. Funding reports?
I know, I'm right.
Doesn't matter what order, so whoever wants to go first.
Well, starters, this is Denise hired from the clerk's office. She's the one that issues all of our A and B permits to build with a lot of lovely people.
I didn't.
I guess we could
This is everybody. Dylan.
Hey everyone, my name's Dylan Edgell, and I'm from the Community Development Institute, UCA. So I'm passing out a report that we created for CBI. Thank you. Looks like I might be short.
Make sure that guy at the end, and then over here.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the Community Development Institute, we're a training program. It's a 3-year training program, 1 week per year. And we train community and economic development professionals from across the state and the Mid-South. We were the first CDI site in the country to be open since the pandemic. So we got a lot of people from out of state, from Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, and West Virginia. So a lot of people from out of state. We got 80 people to fill out the CVB survey, and 60% of those stayed in Conway. Most of them stayed 5 nights. The most popular hotel was an Open Garden Inn. We have a block right there. But they stayed at a smattering of other local hotels as well. And Airbnb, that was super nice. about a third of them reported to engage in activities outside. So it's a pretty intense program, but a lot of them still went out afterwards and had some fun with shopping, got drinks, stuff like that. And they visited 66 different restaurants. The top 3 were Mike's Place, Tacos for Life, and the new Hatchet House Barbecue. So that was a big hit. There's a big group that went there, and another big group that went to Kings and Conway. You can see this map on the back side. It has kind of a map of where it's from. And then 100% of the participants reported that they would visit Conway again after their experience at CDI and Conway. So we really appreciate the AP's commission continued support of our program. I know it's a long-standing partnership, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very forward.
And Dylan, you feel free to leave. You don't have to stay the rest of the meeting.
Okay, cool.
Feel free to stay.
Correct.
Okay, all right, I'll go next. I'm Cindy Mathis, and I'm here on behalf of Antioch Baptist Church. We had the First Grounded Faith. Brian Gummels could not be here, so he asked me if I would do this. So I just know a little bit of the numbers. If you need more information, Brian can send it over. But we sold 675 tickets. It was a ladies' conference that was August 6th and 7th. And we had about 380 actually come to the event for Friday night and Saturday. There was an offering of online for those that felt more comfortable being online, and we had a good showing of that. I do know that we bought food from Nukes, and that was about a $1,400 order. We bought Domino's for the workers on Thursday and Friday, Domino's and Tacos for Life. And then we also had Chick-fil-A on Saturday morning. So we did quite a bit of business for Conway. We had the host, the speaker stayed at, I want to say Hampton Inn over by Walmart. And then we had some other people that came in from Texas, and they stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn. And then we just had several people that came shopping downtown because they were staying Friday night and Saturday, because my sister-in-law has Kindred Mercantile downtown, and she said that she had several ladies that came and shopped with her. So I would say that it brought quite a bit of business to Conway. So, that's right. Y'all have any questions?
Any questions?
No?
Thank you
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too, have a good one.
Good news is always
The easy,
That's
Yeah.
right.
the easiest way to get out is just make a left and go out that door.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Hear it up.
I'm with Your Pie Pizza, and I guess mine's completely different. So I'm not as sure where do I need to begin. They did have me bring some stuff that they got paid off, so I don't know who I need to give this.
So we'll defer to Jill and Charles on this.
This,
And are you the manager?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first two are the paperwork, and then the second pages are the receipts.
and your name?
Ashley
Ashley.
Union. Yeah.
What was the backstory on this? Is there one? So what was the backstory on this?
There's a big long one. They were delinquent June and July. They're delinquent, I think, since November for beverage, right? And they don't have a city beverage permit, and they have paid beverage tax since November 2020.
Code enforcement issued them a citation last Friday, and it dated back to August the 9th, I want to say. So it's about a 33-day citation for the beverage permit for operating without and operating without A&D.
And we went to court on, wasn't it?
I don't recall,
Thursday
probably
before
two
last.
weeks ago, something like that.
And neither of them showed for court.
And I did give Ashley a cease and desist, and since then, they have not been open.
Yes.
Y'all been shut down.
Yes.
So, and you've been the manager there since April, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. And y'all have operated 7 days a week since you were hired, Great.
Yes, yes.
Jill, what are you showing as far as payments?
They made their June and July payments today. 331.24 for June and 236.59 for July.
Have they paid their past dues amounts?
They paid amounts but didn't pay the applicable interest and penalties associated with it. So there's still a balance. I didn't bring that info with me, but $120 something, I believe.
Okay.
Just for A&P. And these are only June and July A&P reports.
You need all the reports going all the way back?
Same for beverage.
So your status now, as far as your availability to serve anything, or
We're
shut down?
completely
You're
shut down, yes.
Closed at this point?
Yes.
Do you anticipate reopening?
I guess they do when all of this is taken care of. And when that ever is.
What, so the owners, what are their steps? What if they, I mean, besides sitting here today, what are their steps? You know what I mean? Like, they had you do this, so they're not here today.
Yeah. Yes.
And then so what have they told you, just to come here and give us that? Is that
basically, I really don't know much just because I don't, when it comes to like paying the bills and stuff like that and paying, I had nothing to do with that. It's all them. They said they're both working their other businesses, so they said they couldn't make it in, but they needed me to come and to be, I guess, somebody to be here for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, y'all voted, I think, 2 meetings ago for them to appear at every meeting until they're current.
Yeah,
Right, right.
and they agreed to do that.
And at this point, we need August, it sounds like, plus.
Yeah, August is currently due.
Can you explain
Plus
what
the interest and penalties.
So technically there's 3 owners. One is a silent partner. So I guess technically he really doesn't have any.
Jay?
No. Jay is Shubham Deep. He is one of them, and then Karan Singh is another one. And Karan's kind of stepped away without stepping away. I guess he hasn't gave up. He hasn't paid out or anything like that. But it's right now it's just that does anything. It's just me and Jay. And they're not like they have people get confused because they have the same last name. I guess it's in India. It's wherever their village. People have the same last names. They have no relation. They're just friends that came together for business.
Charles, thoughts?
Well, I would suggest that they be directed to appear and that be served personally. Like notice to appear at the next commission meeting. They've been served a cease and desist. It sounds like they're complying with it. This young lady's been put on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not-
They're really nice. You don't
we're
know.
No,
Like,
luckily you came and he did talk to me for a little bit, and it kind of helped my nerves because I was kind of like nervous and.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all on you. And
That's
not
why
even
it's
know
kind of
what's going
quiet
on.
right now, because
Yeah.
you're not the person we need to speak
Yeah,
to.
yes,
So,
and I was aware of that too. So.
alright, go ahead, Charles.
But in the notice, I would, because this has been a problem attendance, the commission might consider allowing them to attend remotely so that they can. I'm not saying you have to, you might consider it. This doesn't resolve their court cases. In fact, warrants for their arrest have been issued for their failure to appear on September 2nd for both of them. Those are going to continue to go forward, not your arrest.
Yeah, yeah.
But you
So we
could
need to
pass
make
that
sure
along to them.
Yeah. No, he actually passed it along to me
Okay.
too.
They've issued you citations, so those are going to court as well. I don't know when they're going to get served with their arrest warrants. I just know that they've been issued. So
I did tell Jenny today over the phone that to contact you, and y'all might be able to work out a way they could turn themselves in and pay the bond or whatever it is. I told him, I said, you and Charlie have been talking, you might wanna touch base with him and see what your next step should be.
Between them and the judge.
Okay, good. So he was just asking, and that's what I was gonna tell you, expect a phone call possibly from
Yeah,
him.
because, and I can advise the commission this, I've been talking to Karan, and I've sent him 2 reminders about court. In fact, one was that morning, one was 2-3 weeks before. So, not casting any further
No.
anyways, my office provided him ample notice and reminders that we had court.
And as the commission has given him ample opportunity for them to come here and settle up, so we can just follow your lead and have them appear, have you just personally appear. If they can do this, then they can be here. That means they're taking time away from the office for something.
It eliminates an excuse for not attending.
Okay. Easy enough.
If somebody's operating a business in another jurisdiction, you know, they.
And that's where, in another jurisdiction, yeah.
The commission has that option.
I guess my other concern is August didn't get paid, so what when did y'all close? You still have to turn in a form that shows 0 revenue, just so you know.
Okay, yeah, no, cause he said something about, cause I actually started filling out one for August, and he said August isn't due yet or something. I wasn't sure. I don't know. He didn't say anything about August. I did send him the itemized report for August. So, of course, I don't understand a lot of this, so I don't know.
Right.
But I did do those things. So.
Are you the bookkeeper for that particular restaurant?
Not at all. She said she
No,
doesn't
I don't
pay
have.
the bills
I don't
yet.
have any of the only thing
Is there one? Is there an accountant that
not that I'm aware of.
pays bills? You pay the bills?
What I give the bills to them. Yep. So like when they come in the mail, I show them.
Is this local ownership of this facility, or do they live elsewhere?
They live elsewhere, but have it owned here.
Close elsewhere or far elsewhere?
I mean,
Like
close.
if you're giving them the
Like,
bills, yeah, then
yeah.
they're coming in. Gotcha. So you're handing, so you're not mailing off the bills
No.
to another address.
No, it is an
Anything like
office.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Thoughts are they still not caught up?
I don't think that we can rule one way or the other without them at the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yes.
And, we'll keep checking. I told Ashley that we would be checking daily. As far as any type of paperwork to request for them to attend a meeting or to do online, whenever that paperwork is brought up here, one of my officers can get it to them. So,
Just a question, if I could, what if they were to get current in the next week or 2 weeks, would they be allowed to open?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Without the owners having to show up?
I'd rather them show up.
Well, and my question on that too would be, how we kind of coincide. If they don't have their beverage permit, then they don't, does that go together? Because we say all the permits need to be done. Is that how that works? Like,
Well, beverages depend on AP.
And
It's not the other way
and
around.
cease and desist, that is in place because they are operating without a permit. Because y'all pull the permit, so until it's reissued to them, they can't operate.
right.
When is the next meeting?
October 11th.
I know, that's what we're talking about, trying to figure this out.
I mean, this is a topic every month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's like,
Since y'all open.
our job here is not to shut
Well,
people down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people lose jobs and stuff like that, but it's got to be understood. That's why I like
Yeah.
them. If they're paid up before next meeting, I would say let them open. Personally, people trying to work.
That's what I'm worried about. Like,
See, I mean,
me, and then like my other, coworkers.
What if she gets a hold of them, we give the Zoom, if they get on the call now, and we give them their total. The only thing is, a whole nother month, I know that a lot of businesses don't have funds sitting there where they can continue to pay their staff. So if they were understanding they just had to send a representative, then maybe if we let her excuse herself, she gives them a Zoom and we get them on here and tell them what's expected. That's us,
I think
really
that's
giving
what-
some chances here,
I
but,
think we let the messenger do that.
Yeah.
We've got this thing, they're supposed to be here.
right.
They sent her, and she can let them know what's falls in their court, personally.
Okay.
That's what I mean. If
Yeah,
anybody
no, I
disagrees,
get it.
please.
No, I agree 100%. They've had every opportunity.
Cause that email, yeah, oh, yeah.
So, yeah, October 11th is the next meeting.
Okay.
If they can, do we need to make a motion and a vote on this?
I think you should.
Okay.
And one thing that the commission could also do is allow this basically reopen if they get caught up to the commission's satisfaction, maybe communicated by Ms. Jill, but still require them to be here. And the more I think about it, the more I think it's probably they should be here in person. That gives them a month to plan, but it allows the restaurant to reopen if they satisfy the commission that they've got caught up. Just,
I agree.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
but I do think that motion and vote.
You heard with Charles.
So maybe.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Spanish tournament not tied to the, well,
Records runs through the clerk's office. and-
right.
But they have to have this to get that.
Right.
But they can do this
Issue-
without
can't
that.
issue a beverage permit unless their AMPs are.
Right. But they can open without the beverage permit.
They've never even applied for a beverage permit since they've opened.
Do
And
they have,
then they also,
do y'all have a private club license?
that's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
They
That's
have an active ABC license.
Yes, I do.
Have you been serving beverages?
No. Since I've been there, we haven't been serving at all.
Anytime I've been in there, I've never seen alcohol. They've got cups over the.
Okay.
Since they were served beverage citation back last year, they stopped at that.
But they still have an active ABC license. You know, they still have to have.
So, real quick, go ahead.
I've heard that when you walk in your facility that it smells great. So I would like for you to get caught up. I've never eaten at your place, so I would like to come see if people that have been telling me these stories or know what they're talking about.
Would love for y'all to come.
Here, pen on you?
Yeah.
Okay, you got some paper there. For clarity, when she moves here and talks to Jay, October 11th's the meeting. He can reopen once he gets current, and in order to do that, he needs to contact your office and Denise's office. I just want to make sure that you know exactly what to tell Jay.
Do you happen to know what, like, other than, June and July, is it just August or is there more?
There's some fees.
Yeah.
Late fees.
Except for the,
The late fees.
Oh, wait, did you spell your last name for me?
Yingling. Yes, like the beer. So Yingling like the beer, just spelled differently.
I do like a good meal. Esther McClellan.
Keep the mask.
Jane was hard.
Purple shirt.
yeah.
Wasn't it in the email that I sent y'all this morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they should know. I was just you know, yeah, I was just asking like myself. Oh, I talked to you this morning. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well.
Again, if they get caught, they are required to come missing.
Okay.
I need to make them,
Yes.
they're supposed to be the last 2 meetings and didn't
Yeah.
show up, so I just want to make sure that we don't want to go through this again.
That yeah. And this is what less than a month, but it's in the month notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as of August 9th, y'all paid February, March, April, and May for A&P. However, enough wasn't paid to cover penalties and interest. And at that point in time, there was $125.21 remaining in A&P penalties and interest. They're now delinquent June and July. As for beverage, check payments of the delinquent November 2020 through July 2021 on beverage. And Denise needs a copy of their ABC license and payment for the city beverage permits. And at that point in time, it was $125 for 2021, $187.50 for 2020.
Okay. And that was sent in the email, correct? Okay.
Ashley, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
good?
Good luck.
Alright, thank you.
Ashley,
Sometimes they'll call you.
somebody's
I
on
know
the
this guy named Mike from Mike's
I think somebody's
place.
in it.
Someone said going this way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you just go right up there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, she's always very, very nice, and
Yes,
She's-
she seems well put together.
She's
Yeah,
caught,
she's great.
she's caught the fire.
she is.
Yeah.
She's gonna really like her next time.
Yeah, she gonna love it, yeah.
On that top. Do you like
Charles.
pizza?
It's 3 o'clock.
She's
She got meets experience.
Yes.
Evan Pence is on.
Okay,
He says he can hear y'all.
great.
Okay, great.
Yeah, hi Evan.
All right, that was fun. On,
Hey, y'all got your new business.
that's right, on the financial.
Oh, do you need to? No.
Okay, realize that's in the presentation now.
Yes.
We're running low on seats up here, so.
Alright. Same information y'all are used to getting. Moving to the third page of the first packet, which is a 2-year comparative income statement. For the month of August, we're in the black, $50,900. Over last year at this same time, we were $94,128 in the black. The rest is supplemental information that backs these financial statements. The general ledger and the account reconciliations.
Ready?
Okay. Jill, the brick oven payment, why is that? Normally those don't show up. Just curious.
Because we have not had in a while transfers from the beverage account. Occasionally there are AP payments that are into the beverage
The
account.
wrong, okay, gotcha, it went to the wrong place. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry.
We haven't had those in a while, but they hit along with other random things during this month.
And then on the fire rent theater, it looks like the money got put in, taken out, is that just what it is?
One check had to be voided.
Okay, okay.
big paper?
Mine's the big paper.
Does anybody have questions?
Okay. Flip to the third page. Year-to-date collections, we are up 10.84% over total collections in August of 2020, and up over August of 2019, 14.75%.
How does that compare to retail?
A little, top of my head.
Little hotter.
Yeah,
So,
I'm thinking we're at
so
the range.
restaurants is in retail. It's not a, it's obviously not bulk, it is a,
It's 40%.
it's included.
It's included.
And this is for the year, I don't know, man, cause for the year, you're up 10.8%, and general fund is probably around that.
I'm thinking it's 9.
Yeah, so it's
Well,
running just shade hotter than your
Shade more.
regular trade.
It's good.
Y'all are picking up the slide that you're picking up. The number for us.
Is this where we promote our businesses for employees?
Hello, everyone. What up?
If you go to the third page, I mean the fourth page, sorry. Delinquent collections for August 2021 consisted of 8.15% of total collections. And we're at 37,232.73.
It's like Golden Corral's in there on the past year. It came off, and they were a big check.
I was trying to get this delinquent list as small as it could. It took a lot of effort.
That was a biggie.
Most of it went knocked off, and then once I had to put the lock on, it got grew again.
Yeah.
This page. Collections excluding delinquents were 419, 550, 20, which is up over last year by 14.14%. And then the last page is pay simple collections.
The interesting thing there is July is when that variant came on. You know, that's just kind of what I was looking at. I mean, they're obviously softer than the rest of the April, May, June. You know, so I was wondering how the new variant. You know, there's a big deal. You know, in July coming out with that with the Delta, which impacted us. I can tell. So that's, I would bet that's the reason why you're down 12% from last month.
Yeah, it went down.
And probably can see that trend continue.
For 19, you know, July increased over June, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Looks like versus 19, we're up. So the net 325 for the year.
Pay simple collections totaled 134, 418.25, which makes up 29.43% of total collections. And we're up over last year by 46.19%.
But because the number of people that are using it has increased, or
Yeah.
because
That and the, I don't know whether it's, I think it's a mixture of more available funding for people to be able to pay their taxes. That and a lot of people are finding out about it. It's taking a while this whole, there's still people, there's even still people today that were calling me wanting to know how to make a payment online. So it just takes, it's taking a very long time to get around.
even after telling them about it.
Right.
It's the same way it was last month.
Yeah.
It'll probably pick up as restaurant people move around the industry. This is not how we did this before. Or we call in waves as accountants, picking it up really good.
Yeah.
Every time I issue a name, people are gonna explain it to me.
Catch it with that.
Well, thank you, yeah.
Good, thank you.
That makes it easier.
Anybody have any questions on the financials before we make the motion? Good.
Motion made and seconded.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Here we go.
Yeah,
it is.
Look at all that burnt orange, Jerry.
Can we start at the bottom? Like Zadio, has somebody talked to them? Like, I'm just wondering if, cause that was a weird one. You know, just a random.
I have sent,
at 150.
paper notification, mailed it, and I've also sent an email.
No, any response to the email? Maybe, maybe a call? I don't know, just because it's just so weird, cause they paid up, so it looks like something where maybe
Maybe close.
somebody was on vacation or something, you know what I mean, and it didn't get paid.
No, they're open.
Yeah, they're open.
They have 2 locations.
And it's good.
Kinda like this one down here.
Yeah,
This
just
is
remote.
one of these
Ask
drugs.
Tanisha.
Kiosk or
One's
whatever.
not.
Okay,
Still the other end of it over here.
and you got June and July.
This
from-
is this location is the one right over here.
Okay. And when did they open the hospital on?
It's been
More than a year.
A couple of months, 2 or 3 months.
yeah, it's just been 2 or 3
Maybe it was just a remote.
Yeah, they used to just traffic. And have you been getting the payments from that as well, the remote? Okay, so yeah, so it's just some weird glitch in the matrix. And then you said they paid up literally today, right? They sent
Well,
money
yes.
besides their late fees.
Besides their penalties and interest.
Alright. See, look how easy this is.
Yeah, they literally paid that right before the meeting. I saw the email come through.
What about this? Kitchen YBC.
Your girlfriend.
Your girlfriend,
I
best friend.
No, I have not been able to make contact with them. And I'm not sure why.
And have we started on any of the 3069, got any kind of notices or anything like that? So I haven't gotten anything.
Well, it's mailed.
No, okay, no.
Yeah.
Along with the one, done up the Ember 79 loss Australia.
Yeah, they did contact me. She said they closed in June. She was wanting to pay the assessed amounts, and which she asked what the total was, and I told her the total. I told her she needed to report actual sales and pay the tax, and she acted like it was gonna be impossible, but she tried to get a hold of her accountant. I said, you know, worst case scenario, she paid the assessed amount, but it's probably gonna be greater than the amount of tax, and so she was supposed to check and call me back, and she has not.
How long ago was that?
This was, I guess, on the 3rd.
What's that 854 in the middle, what is that? $2.25 a dollar,
It's that shop cow. I don't know. I told they're still open.
What do they sell? I feel bad for them.
I'm really not sure. I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Denise? The shop cow?
I don't know very much.
Is it a mobile?
It's a mobile. I haven't seen it anywhere. Cause I
know,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, I was on the nomination and then I just saw it.
Right?
Yeah, I might help them out myself. I can cover that for them. Keep them off this list.
The Magic Food Bus, Rachel and I were in communication with them previously. I emailed them about this delinquency on top of, mailing them notices. I just don't think they care.
Are they still set up? Anybody seeing them?
Yeah, they're still set up.
Okay. And then it looks like TC's had something kooky happen, and then they're back for July, I guess.
Right.
Okay. A lot of these are food trucks, huh?
Well, the Sam Southern Eatery, that's that place that went into where, Starbucks used to be. We had some problems with him previously. He's now opened up at a new location, and he is still good for July. I think though he was just the manager when it turned into Sam's previously. He assumed responsibility, I'm pretty sure he got caught up, but. You what?
I'm going gangbusters.
Place on Oak Street? Really? Nighttime? Where's it coming?
Is it good? Can you give them a note that tells them? There's double D.
Double D.
Yeah, right from Compton's. Yeah.
Thought that was vacant.
Was the Dunkin' Donut?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Oh.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Andy, did you pay Double D's a visit?
That's right next door.
Did you go visit Double D's the other day?
I did not.
And Ed, that's,
I'm not sure whether they're okay.
that's 2 months in a row.
They're looking at Hampton.
Oh,
That's right. Yes, I did go by there. There was no activity today that I drove by. I drove by at 12 o'clock. And there was nothing happening. It was fairly obvious that something had been in the past.
yeah, well, that's fine.
Maybe, I didn't think about it. I'm sorry.
So,
I know Charles isn't here, but I think he was really confused.
Yeah.
I have, excuse me, apologize.
real quick, I was waiting for the Casa Katrina till the end, right? Cause I know that, where, should we ask about this or should we just?
There's a lien put on and all that. Yeah, it's just complicated.
Not worth it for him.
Actually, I'm the building landlord.
Yeah.
I know it's probably not worth it. That's what we've done past.
Well, I know I did send a 60-day notice out. Certified return receipt. Somebody signed it. Mailed it back. Gooch is actually coming over to my office today at 4 to pick up some paperwork that Charles sent over, bringing back all of his citations.
So he'll be
I should
sorry.
have my profit application manager.
Cause we had put him, I think, on a pause because he was paying that back, right? Is that what it was? He was supposed to pay us monthly and did all this stuff. Yeah. That
Whatever
didn't work out.
Charles was having.
I don't know. Part of the reason we stopped citing him, also is he shut Casa Katrina down, even though he was still owed and was delayed with it.
Right.
And, I believe he's now running, the Sheila's Locos.
been hopping around.
Yeah. Alright, so he's getting served with something by Gooch.
Yeah, I think there's 4 court cases
Okay,
against him with all of his citations.
okay.
And it's whatever formal paperwork there is to,
Nutrition revolution, you saying?
like where he suspended his citations, his fines. He recalled all of that, and so now he's court, I think it's on November 5th or 15th.
Okay, so something's happening, we got
Yes,
stuff
it's
going
happening.
on, okay. Alright. And then there looks like some more gas stations in the line. But besides that, the other two that kinda stand out.
I mean, El Pastrocito, he's definitely still open. And he's definitely.
I believe I heard somebody say the nutrition revolution, 780, is kind of. Go back to March, is that correct?
And I was in communication, with their accountant at one point in time, and he acted like they were gonna get caught up, but something about one of the owners and one of them was getting notices, the other one wasn't, and the one that was receiving the notices was the one that wasn't giving them to one that would make a difference in the notices or something. I don't know. They were supposed to iron that out and nothing
And
ever
you're
happened.
like, hey, that's not on you guys.
What happens after delinquent after 120 days?
I mean, we start issuing citations. Once,
Yeah.
once
That's
Jill
90
gets
days.
me a cease and desist, at 90 days,
Yeah.
we'll start giving citations. When we give citations, I act under, instructions from y'all or city attorney's office.
Yeah.
If I'm instructed to not give a citation because there's a phone call that's been made, or an email that was sent, then we just kind of sit on it. Once we're told to go, then we go. We can write them daily citations, weekly citations, or this last one was, for about a month. That can all be sorted out in court as far as how much they're held accountable for, but normally we don't, I don't just act on my own. I don't decide to go to, Nutrition Revolution and not, write them up. It's either Jill or Charles's office will activate us to go out.
So has the Nutrition Revolution received citations yet, Jill? Not yet, okay. So we just need to make the normal motion and then make sure that we're getting any citations.
And I've got a couple circled here as y'all have talked about them. Double D's Express, El Pastrocito, La Estrella, Nutrition Revolution, Magic Food Bus, and YGFBF Kitchen. One thing with the restaurants is they're extremely difficult. Food trucks are worse because they can be, who knows where. They're extremely difficult. Once you start getting 8, 10 plus, it's almost a full-time job for somebody to track down these, because a lot of times the owner won't be there. You'll have some manager that knows almost nothing, if even anything. So anyway, I've got a pretty good list here. Any that I need to start giving citations to, as soon as I'm told to go and there's the cease and desist paperwork is ready, I'll give it. But these are people I can contact and just say, hey, I want to start looking at trying to resolve some of these things before it's the next level. So now we got to do that.
Thank you very much.
So.
I can make a motion.
Yeah, because
Do it.
Yeah, I'll
these
make a
delinquents not only, these delinquents cost all of us so much time, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Last week, or the week before last, it was Denise, myself, Spencer, Evan, and Andy all over at court for what, 2 hours, 3
2
hours?
hours. No, 2 hours.
Nothing happened. I mean, and then outside of that, there was a time that Spencer and his crew go and serve these people, and then they have to deal with that on the court side of it as well. I mean, I spent, over this past week, so much time just trying to email, get in communication with all these people to say, even to the point of saying, hey, our next meeting is going to be televised. I don't think you want your name to be on this list. And it worked a lot. This list was narrowed down July 1. But,
And I know that in the last meeting you worked on some of the minutes from before, getting the stuff, translated to Spanish. We're getting closer to that.
Yep, we've got it.
You've got it translated already? Excellent, excellent. Because like, El Pastorcito, and I'm just assuming Estrella, El Pastorcito, it's very, very difficult. We have to take a translator there every time we go. Even if you just tell them, hey, get a hold of this, they still don't, there's the language barrier.
That,
So-
I was actually gonna talk about that when it came to my turn.
Okay,
But I
excellent.
did get, the translated documents from a professor at UCA, so Jill, to those you, we need to make a couple of updates to them, just getting Travis's name on there instead of Alan's small stuff, but obviously I can't proofread them, so I trust that, I trust that they are accurate.
Put my name on it, I'll read it. Thank you.
Name it on
So
the rest.
I'll send those to you today or tomorrow.
Thanks, sir.
You got it.
All right.
You have the motion written
We
down.
did 30, 60. All right, I did.
Yes.
Second.
I got a first and a second. All fair side.
who was first?
It's me. I'll be there.
Barely heard you.
I didn't know I was doing it, that's all.
Take a little less than a second.
Okay, my turn. Just a couple of little updates. I will attend Teams at the end of this month, and that is the expo and conference where I will be meeting with sports events planners from all over the country and trying to entice them to come to Conway. We've had some success there in the past, so hopefully we will this time as well. It's in Atlantic City, which I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but it's not an easy place to get to. So,
It's where, I'm sorry?
Atlantic City.
What a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you have to fly to Philadelphia and then take a shuttle or a train or some other form of travel, an hour and a half, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so I've got that coming up. Funding applications for 2022 will be due October 15th, which is just a little over a month away. I will this week have the updated application posted on the website and begin soliciting those applications from past recipients. But as always, if you know anybody that is interested in applying for funding, send them my way and I'll help them get the form and answer any questions. The Arkansas Senior Olympics, who y'all approved funding for either last month or the month before, let me know that they had to move the date of one of their events, but it actually worked more in our favor. So they have 2 October events, their track and field event at UCA and their 3-on-3 basketball at John Owen. And then they moved their pickleball tournament to the Expo Center in November because they were afraid they wouldn't have enough space for all the interest they were having at John Owen. So I said, well, great. He wanted to know if this funding would still be applicable for more people. I said, yes.
Go Dogs.
I believe you only have to be
Don't get
40
me in
to
over my
compete.
head.
So
I'm in, guys. I'm in.
almost everyone in the room is eligible.
Rachel, are you pointing out that you're not eligible?
Hell, I'm waiting to find out who that.
She pointed out that they're the young ones in there.
Who's not?
Anyway, Steve will probably note this. We have 2 more baseball weekends this month. So a couple months ago, I shared with y'all the STAR report that we receive on hotel occupancy each month, and I'm gonna just bring it to share again.
I'm like,
We
you're
had-
not allowed to give me credit anymore.
How am I gonna see this?
I know, that's how small it is on the screen too. Can you see
When
it?
you come or not, I think I can get
All
you.
you see, you're Olympians.
Take a look at this small print.
Just go ahead and put in red, then I really
just
do.
my young eyes.
Oh.
Oh.
Tell me how they
Anyway, there were, if you look at the, supplies specifically, I'm sorry, the demand line specifically, that's towards the bottom, third row up.
Third
Third.
word up, guys, third word up.
Under demand, we sold slightly more rooms than in July than in June. Occupancy though, occupancy percentage was slightly down in July from June, but still, I mean, obviously so much better than last year. It's really hard to compare year over year, cause.
And
such
July's
difference.
not a big baseball month like June.
Like June.
But it is a big cross-country travel, but we did get travel restrictions to Jeremy's point earlier, so you got about 5 variables there you're working with.
And just looking at the hotel collections were up,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, there.
Do our
They were
numbers,
up
hey,
over
do our money
2019.
numbers match, though, that's the question.
Yeah,
You
they
see
were
what I'm
up over
saying?
2019 even, so that's.
Right.
A little bit less than what this
No,
sheet's
no,
have.
When we've compared collections, Esther and I were talking, when we've compared collections to the star reports, they coincide, which is
Yes.
what you would want.
Yes, so, tonight, we have our first of 2, training sessions with the student athletes that we selected to participate in our NIL program. So that is tonight from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at UCA, if any of you wanna just swing by.
How many students did we end up with?
Well, so we initially invited 30 students to participate. We've had, I believe, 3 decline for various reasons. We had intentionally selected, I believe, 5 to 7 international students and found out today.
Yeah, we got a legal opinion that it's still unresolved with
The
their
NCAA.
visa status, so NCAA and immigration as to whether any outside compensation at all, if you're here on a student visa, whether it would trigger anything. So we've given them 2 options and said, look, there's value in the experience and what you'll get out of it.
And in the training
And
that
then-
you could use for other things.
Yeah, and so if you wanna participate, you can, and we'll defer compensation and pay you as soon as it's cleared, if it's cleared, or, you may just wanna opt to not do this because of the risk.
Which we
of,
understand.
of
And a
potentially
couple of
not
the
being
declines
paid.
have already been from
some
international
are-
students just saying like, I don't know if I can do this or not.
Who were extra careful. They
Who would've thought about that?
Right.
well, nobody 2 months ago, and then we talked to an attorney said, who lives in that space and said, yeah, everybody's come to saying, we don't know, but if you get it wrong, someone might try to deport you. So,
Yeah, we don't wanna be responsible for
No.
that.
Let's not get that wrong.
so don't touch it. But I'll say,
Yeah.
we had people from 11 states, all, it was broken down equally between men and women, all the sports were represented, really.
Different nationalities.
Yeah, really cool stories, and we are going to learn just for the research. When Rachel sent out surveys to all of the athletes, got over 100 responses, and just asking them some probing questions about their impressions and their experience of relocating here, visiting here.
Just some of these people moved from huge international cities
Yeah,
or even
Houston,
from huge cities within the United States, and a lot of them thought they were coming to a tiny backwoods southern town. And assuming they're being honest, they've shared that that is not what they felt once they got here.
And the other thing we're tracking is we did ask how likely, 1 to 10, how likely would you consider staying after graduation? And then we're going to go through this experience and ask this same group that same question. And if we move the needle by them becoming ambassadors, that, well, yeah, I'd actually like to stay here, then we've kind of touched onto something that's a lot more interesting to a lot more people. If you can take some folks through a pretty brief experience and materially increase their desire to stay and work, that'd be really good. But so we are building the airplane in the air. but, and we're gonna take off at 5 o'clock.
You got this.
So tonight, while we have them all there, we will, we have a photographer coming to get some professional photographs of them. We will use in advertisements moving forward. We have a videographer coming to capture some of the training, just so we have and own that footage to use however we decide in the future.
We've got a bunch of inventory as UCA moved into the ASUN, they're an ESPN school, so all of their sports have to be available on the ESPN platform. And if you're familiar with that platform, sometimes you get just a placeholder slide, or you just get a generic spot. So
During my commercial break.
yeah, and so if we can cut some promo spots, we probably have as much of that real estate as we want.
For pretty inexpensive.
Who's leading the meeting tonight?
So the conductor is who we have hired to put together this training. So Jeff Sanders is doing a lot of that. But then we have speakers coming in on a lot of different topics. So we'll have multiple panels with 3 people each, I believe, speaking on, you know, social media, branding yourself, just we have attorneys coming to talk about how to handle, you know, the financial side of this relationship as a student who is probably still in their parents' tax returns. So
Will it be streamed on ESPN Plus?
I don't believe so. But like I said, you're welcome to attend.
We are recording it though, so and the training is available for will be available when we're done after the next session for every UCA athlete this year and moving forward, so they can
Whether or not they're selected to participate in the program, they can still watch the training if they're interested.
Good.
Awesome.
Have you had somebody that's just been dying to do this and said, no, we're not gonna let you?
No.
No.
Good,
No.
good.
Now, we've had some people that volunteered themselves initially that were not selected for one reason or another, but most of the people that were recommended by a coach or the athletic department, they were all selected.
And once we figure out how to do it, if something great happens or an opportunity happens, second semester or next year, we'll know how to seize on it. I mean, I gave the example, you had a sprinter last year who got some national attention because he was the 9th fastest 100-meter time in the country last year. You know, once we have our infrastructure in place, now we can move into those things. And I think when they see other people, we're gonna do things like hand over do a social media takeover, give the phone to log in to a student for the day, and let them do the Facebook and Instagram stories. We may, you know, we don't have a TikTok, but you know, at some point you have to start adding those platforms. You can kind of be stubborn about those things, and you pay the price. Like we did with Toes Up Days this year, we really need to be there, and we weren't.
So if any of you want to volunteer to learn a TikTok dance,
That new TGI
I've
Fridays
done one.
dance.
I'm good.
Jack Daniel's steak with the whatever.
What do y'all feel about chicken noodle soup?
Hadn't seen her head
Um,
do you serve that?
Wayfinding, where are we at on that?
You gotta go.
I gotta go. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Man,
Sorry, I gotta leave.
all right.
I can tell how interested you are in Jerry.
I'm gonna work on my TikTok dance.
Chicken noodle soup. I don't know, I guess.
That's about wayfinding.
Yeah, I defer to our council
City
members
council.
on that one.
I'm thinking that probably the city needs to make a move on wayfinding, because this group is ready to go.
Yes.
The downtown partnership is ready to go. So, we need to make sure that we move that forward in city council.
The last information I got is that they were waiting to get some information via street departments, so.
I thought we had all of our street.
I think we're good. There's probably, we certainly have enough to go to bid
Yeah.
with.
Are there other people that do those signs now?
I think there's, last year we sent over a document and, you know, we just did some online research, and I think we have more than a dozen or so folks that we would want to reach out to who have the ability to do that. That was just within Arkansas. So I think if we promote it, hopefully it will create a competitive bidding climate Cause that's what's gonna dictate the price. How many folks you got bidding on it?
Let's make sure we bring that up.
Yes. Yes.
Between you and me,
Yep.
Wait, okay.
we need to get that ball rolling.
We have committee tomorrow night too.
Stop.
Good, that'd be a good time to do that.
They're gonna split us up? Just like that?
I didn't have anything else. Gabe, did you have anything else to add?
No.
Good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
You look great,
Hi, my
Steve.
name's Steve Evanson.
It took cameras.
Can you show us your
That's
scar?
right. Yeah, I just read the scar. Heart surgeon.
I'm so glad you're okay.
My heart surgeon says sit out in the sun without a shirt on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Vitamin D.
Huh?
Vitamin D. That's
Yeah.
what the- yeah.
My cousin, that's what he did.
We got 2 more baseball tournaments.
There we go.
Put a
Actually,
chocolate
yeah, more than
city
that,
on
but,
your.
Yeah, those two this month.
Yeah. When we'll wrap up baseball in the first part of October, obviously the fair kicks off next Tuesday.
So it's on.
It's on.
Okay.
And then, this weekend we've got 7 collegiate teams coming to play tennis, play CA, so. With University of Arkansas I'll be here.
Is that deal where they have Southeast Conference?
No, that's actually, no, this is
That was-
real,
that
these
was
are real
absolutely-
colleges.
That was absolutely against the rules, whatever those people were doing.
This was called.
I
We
mean, it
didn't give them
was.
money.
They're lucky they didn't get
It's
called on
SEC
that.
Calcutta. But yeah, we've got,
I promise you.
the U of A, Arkansas State, Oral Roberts, the University of Missouri at Kansas City, Murray State, Murray State and Hardy
When is that gonna be? When is that gonna be?
this weekend.
Open.
Some of the matches will be played on our courts also.
Oh.
Where the rest of them were playing? I thought they
UCA.
were
UCA.
Okay, UCA.
Open for spectators, I assume.
I would assume.
Show up. Give it a try.
At one point, you guys had asked me, for numbers on turfing the baseball fields. And just to do the infields at Conway Station is like 1.3, might as well say 1.4. And if you wanna do the entire fields, except for the big field, we wouldn't do, we just do.
Oh,
the
softball.
That would be 3.3. If you wanna do the entire fields.
Do we lose anything by
Oh, I see.
having grass? I mean,
You lose, well, the problem is, it's not the grass that really kills us, it's the dirt. So if you can get rid of the dirt, it can rain all day and we're still fine. But it's, Don Owens is strictly infield with natural grass outfield. We roll right along on that.
And what but these fields drain, our natural grass fields drain.
They do drain,
Really well.
they drain well, but
We won't have better.
here's
turf
the
than-
problem you get into, like we got into in the World Series that was held here. You get rain coming, and those, you can get them to drain and you can get them ready to play, but that's 3 to 4 hours when you're talking about 9 fields. And if you throw in Curtis Walker, and then you start pushing back your timetable. And that's where we got into on Sunday, where they just canceled because they were pushing games all the way back into late Sunday night with a lot of people having to travel everywhere, or possibility going into Monday, which is fine with us if they stay another night, but a lot of parents are ready to.
Right.
It rains really hard.
Yeah. So that's where we are with that.
What else, sir?
That's all I've got.
Any more discussion on that?
Steve, how many terms do you think you bring us in, or how many do you think we're losing because we don't have the turf? Like,
We do not lose tournaments. What we'll do is we'll get them rained out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, competition wise, Hot Springs right now is building 5 all turf fields.
Okay.
Along with their, they've got a big baseball history down there, so they're playing into that.
Right.
How many all turf fields do we have?
All turf,
Or just
5.
infield turf.
5.
and then we've got the 3 infields at Donald. So it'd be another, we could turf another 10 fields. And it would be all turf, and I don't know that anybody, Jonesboro might be able to compete with this.
And you've only had what, like one team ever pass on a turf field? Didn't you have that happen, like some ladies or something?
They
For the
had,
most part, people-
at one time with, it was a tournament, when we turfed the fields, they couldn't, they said their team couldn't get turf shoes. They had to wear steel boots.
Gotcha.
So,
But that's not the norm at all.
no, not anymore. I mean, CBC's now playing their season on turf, so.
Gotcha. So so there wouldn't be any negative to it all.
Yeah.
But
That's
we
gonna
can
Travis
explore that
baseball
more
game.
if you guys wish.
I'm gonna see what the return. We're gonna spend $20 million and $3 million, are we gonna ever get that back? That's an issue.
Right,
I
that's what I
think
was
the
trying
only
to
thing
ask.
it would be through hotel tax collections, cause they're the ones that are mostly impacted by that. Even more so
Restaurants
than
and hotels, yeah.
hotels and
But like we got,
restaurants.
so for the tournament, we got our hotel stay, they just didn't get to do the trophy game.
Yeah. I mean, restaurants, I mean, I can speak, I'm gonna speak, I guess, we see, Jeremy would agree, I mean, when those baseball teams are in, it is probably one of the only real noticeable things that is driving business, like we all notice it. I mean, there'll be stuff that's done, that's mentioned, and we may not ever accept, but man, our sales go up during those tournaments, baseball, softball, even the volleyball stuff that's happening, like all those folks gotta eat somewhere, and what's nice is it seems to hit, I mean, you can tell, like, on every end of town, so, I mean.
It affects us too,
Yeah, I was
while
gonna
we
say.
don't hardly ever get a team.
Yeah.
Very rare for that, but it's grandparents and other things, and chains fill up and other things happen, so, we feel the benefit of that too.
I think that while my son's playing this travel ball stuff, all I heard around was how nice Conway, how lucky Conway is to have what we have. I hate for us to, I say lose, but kind of not think about the future of turf, because I wouldn't say you'll gain, but seeing from families and all that, the disappointment they get not to finish a game because it got rained out and with turf, I don't think it'll happen.
Right, and they would probably look to a different place that is on turf, potentially not run the risk of getting rained out because of the cost of travel and stuff, right? Yeah.
We might look into that a little more.
Well, it might be something, and it'd be, the possibilities to do a co-op again on something like that with the commissions,
Okay, yeah.
like we did with the other part.
You don't have anything to do with the soccer fields, do you?
Eventually, yes.
I mean, the city still owns them.
So y'all, yeah.
We own the property, the city owns the property.
Okay, I wondered how that worked, right, and then United is who takes care of it now. It sure would be nice for y'all.
We're looking at moving something a little bit closer
Okay,
in the center of town.
oh, nice.
That's another big price tag.
Yeah, about 4.5 million.
That's
If we could get some soccer tournaments, just as a soccer parent, the amount of tournaments that we go to and the amount of people, it's the same as baseball, if not more. And they're doing overnights, and they do
Typically
it.
more, there's
Yeah.
a lot more kids on
There's
soccer.
a lot more kids on those soccer teams, and it's, I mean, it's a big thing that we're missing out on for sure. I mean, even trying to get, like, over the summer they do 3v3s,
And if you could even do 3v3 tournaments, it's a lot of people coming in just because of the amount of people that can play.
We do have a 3v3 tournament here, and that came directly from that King's conference that I attended.
Gotcha.
That
Yeah, I
was an
think I
event
did
that
see that,
recruited
yeah.
here, so.
I'm just wondering what spending $1 million at our location now would do. That's spending something.
But out there, problem is you gotta do something with the water.
It's bad.
Because it floods.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed to flood two times a year.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
All the fields are sloped to keep water off. So like you can sit on one end of the field and can't see.
You and I can sit on the other side of the field in our little back chairs and we can't see each other.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how much ground there is.
Yeah.
But they still get underwater.
Yeah.
I do think something to learn, and you know, and Rachel has been in this world a little bit more, talking about teams, but then also comparing notes. And we've partnered with other towns on some of this stuff. You don't have to outrun the bear; you just got to outrun the person next to you. And so, you know,
you better outrun the bear too.
Well, as long as our fields, as long as there's somebody slower that we can push down. You know, if we have the best baseball complex, you don't get anything. You don't get any more business by being 40% better than number 2. And then with soccer, it's the same thing. You know, we're low and we have drainage issues, but Burns Park's probably a bigger facility, but I mean, I can think of 2 or 3 times that we have
Their
relieved
facilities
their
have
stuff
flooded and they've had to use ours, for sure.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, there's a sweet spot for us everywhere where we're never gonna take events away from Oklahoma City, you know, and all that stuff, but we can do what.
But I do think they would add, I think these tournaments would add stuff, you know what I mean? And if we could just show that we're kind of, you know what I mean, too.
Well, and Justin from United could give us some good insight on what the regional landscape looks like. Man, I can't bid on this because we're here, but if you push through to here, then I can bid on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Because I think there's definitely some business that could be bought.
There's very few things that can bring in so many people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be in Memphis next month, guys, if you want me to do. All right.
Anything else? All right, need a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sure.
All right, so moved. Everybody sit there quiet. Do I give a thumbs up and turn off? Yes.
They keep watching.
And then, Rachel, I was talking about the rent, but we probably need to do the whole thing with the chamber, because I don't think we did one for 2020.
The whole what?
Contract with you guys, the
No, we
agreement
haven't adjusted it
in a couple of years, like I don't remember. So since before we went up into that big room upstairs, we talked about
All
that
that's-
if it.